Hello everyone, Ryan here. You know I love exploring the great arcs of world history, but today we're stepping into a story that's pure fiction dressed up as history. The kind of tale Hollywood loves. It's a story of a British woman taming a proud Asian king, changing a kingdom, and maybe even falling in love. Sounds romantic, right? Well, it also happens to be almost entirely untrue. This is the real story behind Anna and the King, and why the truth is far more interesting than the myth. The version most people know comes from Margaret Landon's 1944 novel Anna and the King of Siam, based loosely on the memoirs of Anna Leonowens. In the book, Anna isn't just a governess. She's the king's closest advisor, moral compass, and possibly his secret love. King Mongkut is painted as stubborn, half-savage, and in desperate need of her guidance to embrace Western ways. This storyline made for a perfect theater. Exotic settings, high drama, and a reassuring message to Western audiences that their values were universal truths. But remember, what makes for a great movie often makes for a very bad history. Anna wasn't genteel Welsh lady she claimed to be. She was born Anna Harriet Edwards in India to an Anglo-Indian family. In the racial hierarchy of the Victorian era, that mixed heritage could block her from high society. So, she reinvented herself as a pure-blooded Briton. After her husband died, she needed work. In 1862, she took a post in Siam, not as a royal advisor, but as an English teacher for the king's wives, concubines, and children. In her memoirs, however, she transformed this modest position into a starring role in the political and cultural reform of Siam, because fantasy sells better than fact. Anna's memoirs read like an adventure novel. She tells stories of brutal punishments, palace intrigue, and a king at war with tradition. But historians find little evidence for these tales. For example, Anna exaggerated her accounts on executions as brutal ones, or that she was present at secret court meetings. Yet, official Siamese records and letters from other foreigners show no such influence. Other Western visitors describe the court as sophisticated and well-run, not the chaotic harem Anna described. Her tales fit a popular Victorian mold, the civilizing white woman who tames the exotic and barbaric East. This narrative reassured readers of Western superiority. Anna also had personal reasons to exaggerate. As a widow in a foreign land, her memoirs helped her secure lectures, book deals, and social standing back in England and America. But the story didn't stop there. Hollywood picked up her memoirs and turned the fiction into a global legend, adding romance, drama, and musical numbers. Each retelling moved further from the truth, embedding the myth deeper into popular culture. The musical introduced the love story never hinted at in Anna's writing, and softened the cultural realities into song and dance. While entertaining, these versions painted a misleading picture that frustrated Thai people and historians alike. So when you watch these films or musicals, remember, you're seeing a Hollywood fantasy, not Siamese history. King Mongkut was no ignorant tyrant. He spent 27 years as a Buddhist monk, mastering philosophy, science, and diplomacy. He welcomed foreign knowledge, not to be lectured by outsiders, but to adapt it strategically for Siam's survival. Anna was one of many teachers in his court, not the architect of his reforms, and certainly not his romantic partner. The myth of their relationship is a Western fantasy, not an Asian reality. Thailand bans all versions of The King and I, not just for the romance, but because they depict King Mongkut as foolish and dependent on Western rescue. To Thai historians, it's like turning George Washington into a comedy sidekick, a distortion so deep it becomes disrespectful. It's not just inaccurate. It erases the real achievements of one of Siam's most brilliant monarchs. Anna Leonowens sold the world a fantasy, and Hollywood made it unforgettable. But Siam's survival in the age of empires was the work of its own leaders, not a visiting English governess. The myth tells us more about Victorian prejudice than about Thai history. People might love fantasy, but they should know, a movie is just a movie. It can inspire, it can entertain, but it should never be mistaken for historical fact. Because when we start believing fiction over fact, we don't just get bad history, we lose the truth entirely. Thanks for watching, everyone. History is always richer than the myths we're sold, and the real story of Siam is worth knowing. I'm Ryan, and I'll see you in the next deep dive.